In this lesson, we're going to start by exploring some of your zoom functions available to you here in CorelDRAW X4, and then apply what we learned to the View Manager, one of my favorite features here in CorelDRAW. We're still using the same file from the previous lesson, so if you've skipped to this lesson and you want to get caught up, if you've got the exercise files, go to the Lesson 8 folder, open up previewing1.cdr. I'm on page 2, but I'm actually going to go over to page 3. Clicking the page 3 tab takes me to my gift certificate. Now right now the gift certificate looks kind of small on the page, and if I was going to work on this I'd probably want to zoom in to at least the full certificate, and then to work on areas of that gift certificate I would want to zoom in even further. So let's look at some zooming techniques. We've already seen a couple. For example, pressing F2 on your keyboard is the equivalent of going up here to the toolbox and clicking on your zoom tool. So let's do that, F2. You can see how my mouse pointer has the plus sign. Now all I have to do is click and drag to draw a rectangle around the section I want to zoom into, and I have zoomed into that area. Now with the zoom tool selected, it's a little bit different. If I go over to my zoom tool, look what happens to my property bar. It tells me I'm zoomed in to a level of 306%. In my case, you may see a different value there. But I've also got all of these other zoom tools at my disposal right from the context sensitive property bar. So if I click this drop down, for example, I might want to zoom to fit, for example. If I click zoom to fit, everything that appears on the page will be visible at the zoom level. And you can see it actually zooms me out to 302% in this case, so I can see everything on this page. Now if I go back to my drop down and I want to see the entire page, that zooms me right out so I can see the border of the page and where my graphic fits on that page. Another option is just to click. Because I've got a plus sign in my zoom tool here that's selected, if I want to zoom into the green onion dollars text here, I just click once, click again. With each click I'm zooming in even further. And if I go too far, I can zoom out by doing the opposite, which is right clicking. So clicking the right button on the mouse with each click takes me back out. That's the equivalent of using my plus and minus signs here. Notice that zoom in is a plus sign. Zoom out can also be used with the function key 3 on your keyboard, so F3 with each click will take you back out. Gives you a little bit less control of what you're zooming into. Now we've also got a couple of options here. One is zoom to selected. We don't have anything selected at this point. And then zoom to all objects. That's our F4 key. So giving that a click takes me back to that 302%. All right, let's select something. I'm going to go to my pick tool, and that says going to work on this green onion logo here. So I click on it. You can see it's actually quite large. It includes that gradient fill in the background. So now when I go to my zoom tool over here and go up to this button, I can zoom to the selected object. And it takes me right there. I like that. We've also got some other ones. Zoom to page, holding down Shift and pressing F4 takes us out to see the entire page. That's the equivalent of choosing to page right here. All right. We've also got the ability to zoom in to the full page width or page height. So if I want to be able to see the full width, I click on this button. Now I can see the edges of my page, but not necessarily the top and bottom. If I need to see the top and bottom, I can zoom to the top and bottom of the page using the last button up there on the property bar. And of course I've got some zoom levels here in my drop down. 100% would be actual size. Alright, so those are some of your view options when using the zoom tool. Another option, if you've got a wheel mouse, is just to wheel up to zoom in, or wheel down to zoom out. So with each tap of the wheel mouse towards the top, I'm zooming in, and wherever my mouse pointer is what I'm zooming into, and as I pull the wheel back, I'm zooming out. So that's really great if you're going to be working on different areas of a drawing, for example. What's even better though is if you use the View Manager to save those zoom levels. I really like this. Let's say, for example, I'm going to press F4. F4 on my keyboard takes me out to see the entire graphic here, and I'm going to click on my pick tool. So let's say I am going to work on this logo, but not this entire area, just right here on the green onion itself. Well, I might want to go to my zoom tool and just click and drag around the onion. There we go. Now I can really work on the details of this logo. Well, wouldn't it be nice if I could just flip back to that and back to the full page, back and forth, see the overall outcome of my changes? I can using the View Manager, and I'm going to go up to my window menu, down to Dockers. You'll see over here on the right I've got something called the View Manager. Control F2 is the keyboard shortcut to open that one up. I'm going to close up my hints. If you've got hints there, you can close that up as well, just to give us more space with our View Manager. All right, I've got some buttons here at the top. You can see a plus sign for zooming in and a minus sign for zooming out. Very similar to these buttons up here. In fact, exactly the same. There's my button to zoom to selected objects, and of course zoom to all objects. That's my F4 key. I've got a plus sign for adding views, and I've got a minus sign for removing them if I no longer need them. This very first button here is called the Zoom One Shot. So I'm going to go back to my pick tool here, which allows me to access this. And when I click on it, all I have to do is just what I did a moment ago, zoom into the area that I want to be working on. I want to make sure I get all of this. And when I let go, that's perfect. All I have to do now is add it by clicking the plus sign. You can see the name of this view is 1 to 1,294% on page 3. That's not very descriptive. So I'm going to click again right where it says view, and now I can type over that. So I'm going to type in green onion. I'm going to put in CU after it for close up, just to remind me. Right, when I hit enter, I've locked it in. Let's zoom right back out to all the objects. We can use this button right up here or press F4. And we could add a view for this particular view, but we've got the button right there, so no need to do that. Now let's say we wanted to zoom in on the green onion dollars text over here. So we would, again, click on this button, the Zoom One Shot, same as hitting F2, zoom into that area, and add it as well. I'm going to click where it says View, 2 to 545% for me. I'm going to type right over that, green onion text. There we go. I can hit enter to lock that in and zoom back out to all objects. Now what I really like about the View Manager is that you can also save views from other pages. So if we go over to page 2, let's say, and I want to zoom right out to all objects and maybe work on this star with the postscript fill, I could do the exact same routine, click and drag, save that by clicking the plus sign, and you can see it's automatically showing me it's on page 2. I'll just change the name, PS star fill. There we go. And when I hit enter, done. Now here's the real beauty.